The Alfie Whattam podcast.
There's a lot of people in the crypto world, right, who doubt the story that you've just told. Okay.
Well, many of them don't doubt as much as they say. It's like Alexei Solzhenitsyn's comment on the Soviets, where they lie to us and they know that we know that they're lying, and they know that we know that we know that we know that they know that they're lying, and all that sort of stuff. So,
Sure.
but you're not expected to believe the lie. You're just expected to toe it.
Okay.
That's part of this industry.
Yeah.
The problem is a lot of these people want something different. I don't want Silk Road. I don't want the illicit dark markets.
Sure.
They run around going how they help people. I mean, I disagree. The argument I got from people, including Mr. Ver, was that they make things safer. My comment is, I don't care if it's safer for the drug dealer. It's not safer for the people using. And he came up with an argument going, oh, it's like eBay and people can rate things. And my comment to him was, these three people, these kids who were 13 and overdosed on ecstasy that was laced with phenyl.
Sure.
How do you think they were going to, after they're dead, go in, basically go to the system and go, don't trust this guy. He laced me with phenyl and I died. Yeah. I mean, it's not really something you can do, is it?
No. It's obviously heated, and I'm not here to say you are not or you are. I'm just here to ask questions, right? But a lot of people are very, very. It's a controversial topic, right? Some people say you're a liar, you're a fraud, you're full of shit. What would your response be to those people?
What they want is not to have others look at what I'm doing.
Okay.
I mean, at the moment, we're the only blockchain that scales.
Sure.
And we do.
Okay.
Now, we're not talking, I mean, I'm talking by the end of this decade getting to billions of transactions a second and making true global commerce at millions of the transaction fees we have now, being able to undermine the entire sort of fabric of how we do commercial trades. Yeah. Having digital cash that allows you to transfer 1/100 of a cent instantly. Yeah. Now, that's disruptive. Yeah. And there are a lot of people who don't want that. Yeah. Now, if you can imagine for a minute, Google, their whole advertising mantra that they do is based on something very different. So people might wonder why Jack Dorsey is funding a whole lot of things against me. Why Mark Zuckerberg is part of COPA. Why these big guys. Why Elon Musk, Dorsey and others had a podcast where they keep mentioning me as he who cannot be named. And won't even say my
Voldemort,
name.
Craig?
I feel that way at times.
Well,
I've got a nose, though.
I mean, you could, in theory, if what you if your story holds weight, prove this publicly by doing a signature or a transaction on that.
No, you can't. See, this is where people go wrong. That's the cypherpunk mentality. You can't prove ID after the fact. The way a signature works is you have identity, and you use identity with something to prove that you did something. It's not. It's a one-way function. So you can't prove you are somebody by having something.
Could you do what they're asking you to do, and you're choosing not to?
I could at one point. I made sure I set it up so I can't.
You destroyed the hard drive or something? Yes. Okay. Why did you do that?
Because the only way I'm going to get anyone to go through this and actually accept what I'm saying and not have the cypherpunk world that I don't want is to make sure that it goes my way. So there is no encryption in Bitcoin. If Bitcoin was encrypted, this would be possible. And like eCash or something else, if you don't have the key, there's no way of recovering. With Bitcoin, that's not the case. Now, a lot of people don't want this to be ever come to light. If you can imagine now that there are people who've sent money to North Korea. There are people who have, there's a known sort of phenyl dealer on the western areas of China. I don't know where he is, but he has about $2 billion worth of BTC.
Blimey.
Now, if what I have comes to light, these people aren't going to have what they have. I mean, the governments will not just restrict movement, they will seize it. And if you start thinking that there are people out there who, well, don't want this, then you add that to people like Square who want to capture sort of the payment industry, not innovatively, not something that they can't control, but to capture it and control it, then you have a lot of opposition.
That's another Jack Dorsey company, I think.
It is.
Yeah. Okay. So is there anything that you can do that would satisfy the skeptics and make them convert? Because
it's not a religion.
It's not a religion. I never said it was, but
But you said convert. I mean,
sure.
So, I mean, the reality here is you're looking at this all wrong. Again, you're treating it like a religion. So, does it matter? I mean, at the end of the day, what matters is what I do next, not what I've done before. And this is where people go wrong. So, when Don Quixote was written, it was written pseudonymously, and the author had to. And there was a fake version of a sequel came out, and Cervez came out and wrote a sequel himself saying, well, it's me, this guy, this is horrible. And the way he proved it was writing another one that people went, yes, that second one was horrible, we thought you'd failed somehow.
Yeah.
And they went, this is even better than your first one. And then they accepted that he was the author of both.
Okay.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, what matters? That I did something in the past or that I'm doing something even more now?
Yeah.
Launching Bitcoin is one part, but everyone goes, oh, it's so hard, just big blocks. Really? I'm talking about getting up to 100 terabytes every 10 minutes sent between global networks in under 3 seconds.
Yeah.
And verified.
Okay.
I mean, think about that. That is something that Facebook doesn't do.
I mean, that would be remarkable, right?
That's what we're doing.
But does that prove the creation? Because it's an impressive feat forward on what happened, but it still doesn't prove the origin.
But the cypherpunk mentality is the problem.
How do you prove the origin?
The same way people have proven things for centuries.
Okay.
People. So the whole thing is we want keys to prove, and we want, but that's not what Bitcoin's about. The cryptographic proof aspect is only for micropayments where you don't need identity.
Yeah.
If you ever need identity, identity is firewalled from the blockchain. I mean, I mentioned that. Now that doesn't mean that it doesn't exist.
Okay.
I spoke to people in the early days. I talked to people. I presented things at my former employer.
Yeah.
So pseudonymous and anonymous are different. While the majority of people didn't know who I was, many did.
Hey, thanks for watching this YouTube video. If you want to see more like this, please remember to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.